Well, you know, up to now, we've had this record heat, nice and wet, nice and dry for a month and a half. Actually, January, there was only trace amount of rain, and then till today, we had no other rain at all. Well, today is February 22nd of the year 2022. So they call it Tuesday, 2-2-2-2-2. Anyway, finally I get to wear a long sleeve. Well, 2 long sleeves. I have a long tee underneath here, and then this and gloves, so I could actually work the pines. Now, if you were to test this and go like that, well, it hurts. That means that this pine is healthy. So if you have a pine that you do this and ouch, it doesn't hurt, that means that your pine is weak. So I have a nice, healthy pine right now that we're gonna be working on. Now, okay, pines usually grow like this, right? There's always the center candle and the cluster that goes around it. So almost always remove the center candle, and we'll break these so that it'll be shorter. That's sort of the basic. So, and how you tell the health of the plant, other than poking yourself, is look at the candles. See how strong they are. This is nice and vigorous. So you can see that this tree is in very good shape. So now we gotta, but I think just removing this is not enough because this grew. That means that I probably goofed and didn't do it early enough. So I'm gonna cut those off first. And then we'll see. A lot of you have problems with the pine. Well, don't fret. I still don't know exactly what I'm doing. I kind of get there, but sometimes I have no idea how I got there. And that's okay. I mean, this whole thing is a process anyway, right? So what I need to do today is to get rid of these big ones that could ruin the shape, and then open it up so there will be some sunlight come in here, keep it healthy. But we don't want to expose so much that we get sunburn. We got to remember we have this growing in kind of a hot area, and in the summer, if we don't have the trunk protected by location or by the way we grow it, we could end up with sun-scorched trunks. So I know, based on what I've been doing, I know there's a nice trunk in there, and I know it has movement and taper, but we can't see it. So that's what we're gonna do today. Like I was saying, it's been warm. Finally, I could wear these long sleeve shirts. I like to have at least 2 layers. So I have a long tee underneath here and a flannel and gloves. And then, you know, like, I think there was somebody that was asking, what month of the year do we do pines? And one of the things that you should not rely on is your calendar schedule. You're gonna have to base it on what you need to do. Okay, like I said, this one should have been done sooner. But there's also a fairly wide window that you could do things. Those of you in milder climate, you could probably do most of it all year long. If you get really pressed for time and you know you can't get to everything, work the apex. Okay, I think we've talked about it in the past. Pines and like many other are top growers. So they want to grow vigorously on top. So if you don't have enough time to do the whole tree, make sure you take care of the top, because if you don't do the top and you already have a nice taper and movement, it could reverse taper up on top. And then we'll have to go into how to redesign, right? But keeping the top well managed is a good way to approach your pines. Well, okay, so up here, do I want to just crown it off, or do I want to keep going? So, you know, this turn, 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 right? If you want tall. So I have to kind of decide on that, and I might want to go a little bit taller. So I'm going to let this be the new leader. I cut off the side branch. That was getting too big. There's plenty of these very small shoots that, well, the candles that's coming out. So I took off the big one. And that's sort of what we do with our pines a lot of time. Get rid of the big, vigorous one and then go with the smaller one. And it gives us a little bit better sense of proportion. Now, it may not be the same down below, but up on top, that's really true. Talking about the San Diego job, our professor, Uesugi, our sensei from our Cal Poly days, that's where I met Glenn. He did the major design on the expansion. You know, it used to be a nice small garden, but then they had finally raised the budget or raised enough money so they could expand. And I've been trying to go out there at least every couple of years, and it's really coming along. Sure would be glad to get back to traveling again. Actually, the last time we were able to travel, we ended up in San Diego. I have friends there from college, so we met with them. And then soon after, everything got shut down. I think I've been more fortunate than most. I mean, those of us that's in the green industry, nursery and things like that, we're doing quite well. Some of my friends that aren't are suffering. I have friends in Japan that they're under much stricter rules, so they can't get out, they can't go see their grandkids. I've been fortunate enough that we got to see our grandkids occasionally. Well, because of the hassle, they just decide to keep, I mean, when they come, they stay a little longer. So that was kind of fun. If I couldn't see the grandkids, play with the grandkids, I think it won't be as easy to tolerate this situation. Hoping that this summer we could go on a road trip again. But hey, I'll count my blessings. I have a job where people are coming, people are interested, and my YouTube following is expanding out. What more can I ask for? Okay, a little bit less talking and consider. I think right now this is the front, and I think, well, you know how I usually keep a lot of branches, lower branches, right? Multiple reasons. One is it fattens the area and protects it from the burning sun. We're looking at the front right now, but I think this one over here is just too big. I'm just, the only problem is sometimes, you know, you cut and you go, oops, it was connected to more than I thought. Okay, that wasn't bad. I think it starts to show a little bit more in here, yet still well protected. And then I got the feeling that right in here, the same kind of problem. So let me study that and then see what I need to cut off. Okay, so anyway, I think it's starting to come together. I think this eventually is going to be a sacrifice branch, but it's much too soon to take it off because I still want this area to keep fattening. Some of this, I guess it could open up a little bit. There's a nice line down here. If I stayed on top of it sooner, it probably would look better. But hey, like I've been saying, I had too many plants. But now that I'm starting to sell off a lot of it, I'm beginning to improve the quality of what I have left, which is a good thing, I guess. Okay. I know some of you really neat people probably going, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Because I come from the school of close enough. Besides, if I kept doing that, I would never get done. Okay. I think now we could actually see the structure better. Now, some people like to open this up more. It depends on where you are from and your taste, of course. People from the Bay Area, they tend to really open it up. Well, that's okay because they're cool. But if you're over here and we got to get through our summer, you don't want to go too much deeper than this. You'll start to get sunburned trunks. So hey, look at the root flare on this thing here. Okay, in the past I had a big branch here that's been cut off, probably maybe a year to 2 years ago, because it's starting to heal over. And that's what you got to do, is to leave enough to get it fat, and then at a certain point you're going to have to remove it, and then leave enough time to get that wound to heal. So anyway, as you look at this tree, it has nice movement, right? And taper. Doesn't have a very strong front, and that's what we want in a Niwaki. It has to look good from all angles, because most likely it'll be in a garden and you don't know where the people are going to be looking from. So this is another look, right? Okay, anyway, this is Hiro saying, I'll see you again real soon in another chapter, so keep watching me. Thank you so much. And those of you who have comments, send them to me. And well, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and things like that. I think it's a big, interesting thing for me to find out that, oh my gosh, I'm covered here and there all over the world. It helps my ego. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.